Good day, friends. We have a brand new amazing video on Sonos Ray review for you today. Therefore, like the video and subscribe to our YouTube channel before it starts to see more. Finding luxury goods on a tight budget is difficult, even under the best of circumstances, whether you're looking for designer clothing, lifestyle technology, or custom furnishings. And when it matters most. Even a TK Maxx search will only turn up some fake AirPods and a damaged Lee Cruzy ramekin. When we first heard rumors that high-end electronics manufacturer Sonos was releasing its first affordable soundbar, the Sonos Ray, we couldn't help but think, what's the catch? We're so used to seeing costs for high-end goods climb while quality frequently declines. The Gadget of Sonos has always been aspirational. It's designed to be used in groups, integrating to give you a wide-ranging, seamless audio accompaniment in every area of your home, as well as immersive cinema sound in your living room. It's nicely manufactured, but pricey speakers are made to be used in groups. Can the Sonos Ray still provide a comparable experience at a reasonable price? With a starting price of £279 and $279 and $399 Australian dollars, the Sonos Ray is the brand's most cost-effective TV soundbars yet. It's one of the Sonos 3 soundbar models. The Sonos Beam Gen 2 is the device above it. It was released last year for £449, $449 and $699 Australian dollars and has simulated Dolby Atmos. The Ray only has an optical input, not eARC connectivity like the Sonos Beam Gen 2 does, because it only supports stereo PCM, Dolby Digital 5.1, and DTS Digital Surround audio formats. It cannot decode Dolby Atmos. The codec type is indicated on the app's Now Playing tab. The Ray does, of course, still have network support and AirPlay for wireless multi-room playback because it's a Sonos device. While many soundbars costing similar amounts to the Ray, such as the majority Sierra Plus, which costs £270 or $300, have HDMI ports, even Dolby Atmos support. Streaming is typically strictly limited to Bluetooth, which the Ray incidentally does not have. It's fairly uncommon to find Wi-Fi connectivity in an entry-level soundbar. The Ray gives consumers the freedom to build a basic multi-channel surround system that can be expanded over time while being the only non-Dolby Atmos soundbar in the current Sonos lineup. The costly Sonos Sub and 2.1 SL back speakers are two options for upgrading the Sonos Ray. Customers are unlikely to want to spend nearly 4 times as much on surround separates as they would on a soundbar though. The Symphonist IKEA range, which includes the Symphonist bookshelf speaker for £99, $99, and the Symphonist lamp started at £159 and $140 and 268 Australian dollars, is what Sonos envisions the Ray working with. While Symphonist does not now come with a subwoofer, there are unverified rumors that Sonos will soon develop a new subwoofer that's both size and cost compared with the Ray. Build. The Ray represents a change in direction for Sonos, with the ability to integrate with a wireless multi-room system via Apple AirPlay 2, Spotify Connect, Tidal Connect, and or the Sonos S2 app. It still upholds the company's primary brand of interoperability. But this speaker is intended for people who have probably never thought about the brand before. It's a suitable option for tiny rooms or shared spaces because of its extremely small dimensions, tapered design, and forward-facing speakers, which take up little space, eliminate the necessity for a clean line of sight for upward and side-firing drivers. The Ray's smooth curves, capacitive touch buttons, monochrome finishes, and perforated polycarbonate grille all belong in the exclusive Sonos Gene Pool. In both of the product samples we were sent for this review, The grille's edge doesn't rest flush with the main body. While that's odd for a firm as generally meticulous as Sonos, it's small complaint in what's otherwise a stylish speaker at this price point. Features: the Ray has 4 forward-facing drivers, including 2 centrally located elliptical mid-woofers, 2 tweeters that fire into split waveguides, and 4 Class D amplifiers inside. The Ray's audio processing, along with the waveguide separation and dispersion of the high frequencies for a sense of spaciousness, according to the Sonos, will produce a broad soundstage and aid in precisely locating effects within your environment. Although Sonos has claimed that the Ray might be considered a 3.0 system, there isn't a separate driver for the central channel. Instead, all of the drivers share the responsibility for dialogue. By regulating the airflow speed within to avoid the drag-induced turbulence, Sonos low-velocity curve-based reflex ports, which handle low frequencies, are claimed to offer a substantially low end without distortion. Although unsurprisingly, the tiny Ray doesn't serve a particularly meaty bass. Since a post-launch firmware update addressed some of our initial concerns, said bass is well controlled and free from unwanted resonance. Sonos has always impressed us with how well it can overcome the limitations of scale when it comes to producing a meaty sound. The Ray lacks the virtual Dolby Atmos decoding of the Sonos' more expensive soundbars, the Beam Gen 2 and Arc, as it was designed to fit neatly into the cabinets without compromising its audio dispersion. Because this speaker isn't designed to handle high bandwidth immersive codecs, Sonos has also made the pragmatic decision to forego the HDMI eARC connections of its more expensive products in favor of a traditional optical input. Direct voice control is not possible with a Ray because it lacks built-in microphones, another significant feature of the rest of the Sonos soundbar lineup. It does, however, come with all of the standard in-app features you would expect from a Sonos product, including a 2-band EQ that is adjustable, a speech enhancement mode to help clarify dialogue, and a night mode that reduces the dynamic range of the soundbar to allow for listening at lower volumes. The onboard TruePlay room collaboration software from the Sonos, which uses the microphone of a compatible iOS smartphone to assess the acoustics of your room and adjust the soundbar's response accordingly, is maybe the most useful app-supported feature. This is a welcome and unmistakably high-end function to discover in a product at this price, since it has always been a worthwhile endeavor with Sonos products. Sound. Starting with Blade Runner 2049, we're happy to find that the Sonos Ray performs admirably for a budget soundbar. Chapter 2's clanging soundscape and snippets of the dialogue as Kay make his way to his baseline exam are crisp and direct, eliminating the boxiness frequently experienced with the other low-cost soundbars. Though voices lack a little bit of the warmth and sincerity that the Beam Gen 2 can provide, the conversation is pleasantly crisp without being harsh. The restricted imaging is to be expected given Ray's dimensions, but there is some sense of the confined, reflecting the environment that Kay is seated in during the baseline interview, as well as the relative placement of the interviewer's disembodied voice. This means that while spinners fly by, the soundstage doesn't have the same sweep and sensation of motion that we might anticipate from more expensive items. Overall, Ray manages the more assertive low end of this track nicely, if a little clinically, especially in comparison to the more aggressive trial of the past by the SBT-RKT. The treble of the overlapping percussive sections has a hint of the brittleness, but the arrangement bounces along smoothly with lots of intimacy and presence in the vocal. Taking Forza Horizon 5 for a drive, we can understand why. It's evident from its promotional photography that Sonos is eager to pitch the Ray as a choice for anyone wishing to boost their gaming audio. The Ray's punchy, quick, and dynamic delivery is ideally suited to games, and it has just enough low end to distinguish between the various cars and give engine noises some power. It's so unlikely to find a sophisticated, tiny, affordable soundbar that they might as well be unicorns. Even if manufacturers are coming up with ever more ingenious ways to squeeze every last frequency out of the drivers little bigger than a teacup, sonic compromises will always be necessary. When we first reviewed the Ray, we thought there had been a few too many concessions, particularly in the way the bass was handled, which had led to an odd low-frequency resonant buzz in a variety of movies and musical genres. Do you like this video? Openly give your opinion in the comments section, and don't forget to press the subscribe button to follow our more videos in future.